What's up, Eagles fans? Welcome into the All-22 review driven by AAA. I'm your host, Fran Duffy. Obviously, another disappointing loss here for the Eagles, a high-scoring affair out in Pittsburgh, but the Eagles unable to come away with this victory. Mistakes on both sides of the football, some plays that they would like to have back. Still some bright spots and some things that we will look at here on the film. Excited to show you some of the highlights, and really, it started very early in this game. All right, well, let's look at the first drive of the game defensively, and a big sack here on second down by defensive tackle Javon Hargrave going up against his former team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's see how the Eagles were able to make this happen. And this is really where you're dictating to the offense how you want to protect. Watch what the Eagles do here by placing Nate Gerry over the center, right over Marquise Pouncey. What that does is it creates 5 one-on-one matchups across the board, because you've got the right tackle, he's responsible for Brandon Graham. The right guard responsible for Fletcher Cox. Left guard Matt Filer, he's on Hargrave. And the left tackle of Villanueva is on defensive end Derek Barnett. By occupying the center with Nate Gerry, he has to respond to him, right? He can't just let Gerry blitz up the middle. That now creates those one-on-ones. Nobody gets double teamed, so you really try and get your defensive line all those one-on-one matchups and really dictate to the offense. Now, what Gary's going to do, he's not going to blitz. He's going to take one step forward and drop back. He's going to read the eyes of Ben Roethlisberger. So I want you to just watch Nate Gerry here and see what he does. We'll let this play just for a second. Roethlisberger takes a snap, drops back, eyes to his left. What is Nate Gerry doing? He's watching Roethlisberger. He's got his vision right on the quarterback. Roethlisberger wants to hit a quick in-breaking route over to this side of the field. Gerry is right there in the throwing lane, so that forces Roethlisberger to hold on to the football. And what does that do? It allows all of these Eagles, all these white jerseys, to collapse the pocket around Roethlisberger. Hargrave is the one who ends up getting home. He wins his matchup against his former teammate Matt Filer, and the Eagles get a sack. They force a punt. Outstanding sack there from Hargrave. Great job by the Eagles defensive coaches of getting them into this front. And then Nate Gerry doing a great job of help setting up the sack for Hargrave there on the first drive. All right, now let's go to the offensive side and look at the play that really got the Eagles going offensively, and that's this 74-yard touchdown by Miles Sanders. The Pittsburgh Steelers come into this game allowing just 54 yards per game on the ground. So, number one, run defense. Would the Eagles be able to get things going with Sanders on the turf? Well, you get the 74-yard touchdown here and really ties things up. What we're going to see here, this Pittsburgh front, we talked about it all week. We talked about it on Eagles Game Plan. We talked about it on the Eagle Eye in the Sky podcast. Pittsburgh love to blitz. They blitz more than anybody in the NFL coming into the week on a per-game basis. They ran more stunts than anybody in the league on a per-game basis. And what you're going to see here from Pittsburgh, you're going to have a defensive tackle looping. You're going to have another linebacker coming inside. These two guys are running a little bit of a game, and you're also going to get a blitzing slot corner. So, on third and long, Pittsburgh, they're bringing the heat. They're bringing extra rushers, and they're moving guys around, doing all kinds of things to attack quarterback Carson Wentz. The Eagles know this. They're expecting this. So the best way to kind of defeat the blitz, you might say with a screen pass or some kind of a quick throw to a hot route. The other way is with a draw play, and that's exactly what you're going to get to Miles Sanders. Now, all you're trying to do is suck the defensive rush upfield, and then you're allowing Sanders to get behind that. What I want you to watch here on the first part of this is just Jason Kelce, because the offensive line, they're selling pass pro. You're going to see all these guys, they're going to pop up and look like they're in their pass sets. They're just going to drop backwards. Kelce makes a key block here because these guys are slanting on a stunt. Even though Kelce knows it's a run play, he has to block this up. He does an outstanding job handling these two defenders here right in front of his face, and we can let this run. And just watch the job by Kelce. Hands number 91 off. He's ready to seal off 55. And then the rest is Miles Sanders. He's able to make a couple guys miss, and he races to the end zone for a touchdown to tie up the game, make it 7-7. So after the Miles Sanders touchdown, Pittsburgh comes back and they score a touchdown of their own. That makes it 14-7. The Eagles offense does a nice job methodically moving the football down the field. Wide receiver Travis Fulgham, one of the heroes of last week's game, he gets 5 straight targets as the Eagles, again, move the ball down the field. They get into the low red zone, and on a critical third down play, Carson Wentz hooks up with Zach Ertz on this play. And what you're going to see here, another blitz from the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're actually going to send 6 defenders after Carson Wentz. It is a cover 0 blitz. And all the cover 0 is, you've got man-to-man coverage across the board here. You've got 5 defenders matched up against 5 Eagles receivers. The Eagles in empty here, so they have an understanding. Look, there's no one here in the middle of the field. At best, you might get this safety dropping, but once Carson Wentz feels that this guy is going to come, well, now he knows that I've got Zach Ertz, one of the best route runners in the NFL, working one-on-one with no safety help in the middle. All he has to do is win that inside shoulder, and I just have to put it on the numbers, lay it out in front of him. And that's exactly what he does here. We can let this play. You're going to see Zach Ertz win at the top of the route. You've got plenty of guys coming. One-on-one, Zach Ertz is able to win, gets them inside the 2-yard line. Very next play, Miles Sanders punches this into the end zone. It's tied up 14-14 late in the first half. Well, let's fast forward a bit now into the middle part of the third quarter. Pittsburgh's now up by 17 points. And this was a moment where you could say the Eagles could have backed down. They could have wilted if this were a bad team. But the fact that they were able to still show some fight and come back in this football game, I thought was really good to see. We're going to see here that they were able to drive the football down the field, and it finishes with this touchdown pass from Carson Wentz to Greg Ward. And here's what you're basically going to get is in the red zone, Pittsburgh's going to send another cover zero blitz. We saw that on that third down conversion in the red zone to Zach Ertz. They come back with another cover zero blitz. And again, all cover zero is there's no safety in the middle of the field, and you're going to get man-to-man coverage across the board. So you're going to get 1, 2, 3 defenders against 1, 2, 3 receivers on the top. There's another one out there. And what you're going to get now from the Philadelphia Eagles is an in-breaking route here from the outside, followed by an out-breaking route from Greg Ward against a corner that is playing with no help. So he's going to be guarding the inside. He's playing with what's called inside leverage. He is trying to force Greg Ward out to the sideline. So we'll let this play. We can see that Carson Wentz recognizes they're getting a blitz. You see the little short motion here from Zach Ertz. Carson Wentz takes the snap. He drops back. He looks over to his left, knows he's got a corner playing with inside leverage, throws it out towards the sideline, and Greg Ward comes down with the touchdown. That makes it 31-20 here late in the third quarter. And after that touchdown to Greg Ward, we get a 2-point conversion play to Eagles wide receiver John Hightower. And this is how it happened because he was not the primary read on this play, at least from the way I see it. What you're going to get is a play-action fake here between Carson Wentz and Miles Sanders in the backfield. This play is designed to go to Zach Ertz on what I would call a little bit of an under route. He's going to work across the formation opposite that play-action fake, which is going this way. Greg Ward is actually going to throw a little bit of a pick here for Zach Ertz in man-to-man coverage. So that defender that runs across the formation following Zach Ertz, he's going to run directly into this pick route set by Greg Ward. Now, following in the wake of Greg Ward, just in case Zach Ertz is not able to get open, here's John Hightower. He's going to just kind of slow play his release off the line of scrimmage, then get to the back of the end zone and just kind of settle into the soft spot here. So we can let this roll, and you're going to see Carson Wentz off play action, a little bit of a bobbled snap there. Zach Ertz, the timing's thrown off, so now he's able to get it into the back of the end zone for John Hightower. The Eagles make it a 31-22 game off that 2-point play. So after that drive on offense, the Eagles defense gets the ball back for the Eagles offense, and now in the first play of the fourth quarter, we see some nice trickeration here from the Eagles offense. This is a completion from Jalen Hurts to Richard Rodgers down the seam, and here's what we see. You've got Jalen Hurts in the shotgun. You've got J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. He's the number 3 receiver. Here's Zach Ertz. Here's Miles Sanders. Here's the other one. You've got Carson Wentz down at the bottom. Who's this in the slot? That's center Jason Kelce. So Jason Kelce is in the slot. You've got Nate Herbig. He's snapping the ball to Hurts. The guy that's lined up as your left tackle is Richard Rodgers. So Richard Rodgers is lined up at left tackle. He's going to leak down the seam here. You can see there's all kinds of communication happening. The Eagles have not shown this look yet this season, so they're kind of confused as to what's going on. Obviously, the Eagles have to be careful in terms of making sure that everybody is lined up the way they need to be so there's no penalty thrown on a pre-snap illegal formation. But all you're going to have is J.J. Arcega-Whiteside working down one seam and Richard Rodgers working down the other seam. And Jalen Hurts, he's just going to kind of play off that. And as long as one of these guys is open, he's going to put this ball down the seam. If not, he's got a couple of check down options over here to his left, or he can take off and run with the football. And we can let this play, and you're going to see he's going to drop back. A lot of confusion, a lot of guys kind of standing still. And you see Richard Rodgers wide open for a 20-yard completion. So some nice trickeration there from the Eagles offense for Jalen Hurts' first NFL completion. So after that Rodgers completion, the Eagles get down into the low red zone and they get into the end zone, this time courtesy of Travis Fulgham. I have not broken down any of his catches yet, but obviously a huge day for the second-year receiver. His breakout game here in the NFL, 10 catches, just an outstanding performance by Travis Fulgham. And we're going to see here just a really nice concept to get him open. Notice that the Eagles are in a three-man bunch to the top of the screen. They're in an empty set. Carson Wentz by himself in the backfield. But we're just going to focus here to the guys up here at the top. What you're going to get is you're going to get Miles Sanders, who's lined up as the number 3 receiver. He's going to run to the flat, and that's going to catch the eyes of a couple of Pittsburgh defenders. Number 2, I want you to watch Zach Ertz. He's the number 2 receiver. He's just going to run basically to the post. He's running to the back of the end zone. He's trying to make sure that he takes any vertical defender with him. What you're trying to do now, when you've got Sanders going to the flat and Ertz going to the post, a lot of real estate right here, right in the middle of the field for Travis Fulgham, who's lined up as the number 1 receiver here as the Z. He's going to have to try and settle into that soft spot in this zone coverage. Remember, Pittsburgh has shown a lot of cover 0 so far on this one. The Eagles clearly were expecting some kind of zone. This is a great zone beater, and we'll just let this run out for a second. Carson drops back. He looks to his right just to make sure that this linebacker doesn't cheat it. Right, so Carson had his eyes going this way. Now you can see that he's got his eyes back. Travis Fulgham wide open. Again, here are the 2 defenders that went with Miles. Here's the defender that got taken away by Zach Ertz. Carson Wentz's eyes accounted for this linebacker here. You've got a wide open receiver in Travis Fulgham. We'll let this play. Carson Wentz pulls the trigger, wide open, touchdown. Eagles pull within 2 points here. Obviously not enough, as Pittsburgh are then able to go down. They score a touchdown and they end up pulling away. A lot to like here from the Eagles, just not enough. Ultimately, mistakes on both sides of the football. The starting field position was not good enough. A lot of things to clean up as the Eagles prepare for their next game against the Baltimore Ravens, who will be visiting Lincoln Financial Field next Sunday. We will be breaking that game down in earnest this week, not only on the Eagle Eye in the Sky podcast. Myself, Greg Cosell, will be breaking that down. Make sure you go subscribe wherever podcasts can be found, but also on Eagles Game Plan, where we're going to dive deep into this matchup. One of the coaches will be joining us for some tape study as well, looking at some of the highlights from this game. So make sure you stay tuned to all of our analysis coming up here on PhiladelphiaEagles.com throughout the week. Thanks so much for joining us on the All-22 review, driven by AAA.